Hello everyone and welcome to Esportz Premier Series 2023 Assetto Corsa Competizione Qualifiers Week 2 brought to you by esports.in and our smart lock screen partner Glance. I'm Simply YT and Moto seems to be stuck. So yeah, well, I will continue on with what's happening right now. I think Moto's having some internet issues or electricity issues, but that shouldn't be an issue for now. However, we had a very good day yesterday in y- yep so we had a very good day yesterday and with our group 2 guys. Of course, we're back with our group 1 today, and we saw a lot of chaos at Monza. We saw a lot of chaos at well, Spa as well, until it lasted. And on day 1, of course, we cannot forget the couple way of things happening. So let's hope that the game is ready. um, if we can get into the game as quickly as possible, then that will be good. Let's see if the game session is ready. Even if it's not, then well, let's talk about our group 1 guys. As far as the storing bit is concerned, couple A6 or the couple way, whatever you wish to say, his driving skill or whatever you want to call him, he has gotten a qualifying ban after his antics in Spa and in Barcelona. Other guys, well, we have already mentioned the penalties for the other people, so um, uh, nothing other than that. Just on track penalties for the rest, if they did get any. And currently, uh, I believe we're not sure about the standings either, but okay, that's completely fine. If we look at today, day 3, that is, we have qualifying at Barcelona, funnily enough, and we have Monza for our second race. So it's going to be the normal format that we have seen so far. That being 20 minutes qualifying, 5 minutes, five top 5 in the Superpole, 30-minute race 1 and 30-minute race 2. And of course, the first track we have is Barcelona for the qualifying Superpole and the first 30-minute race. And I think Moto is back with his clean shave, not looking out at one direction, finally smiling as well. I guess he's happy about something, Moto, aren't you?
Well, happy is not quite the word. We've been an onslaught we've had in the last 10, but yeah, it's good to be back, and we're back with day 3 of Qualifier 2. So we head to Group A today. You might have included them already, but just to reiterate, it's going to qualifying session in Barcelona, wrong, followed by a
Yep.
race in Monza. With the Barca race first and then the race. So yeah, we saw that they drive at Spa in day 1. Now they're going to have to take to a very technical circuit, as we mentioned countless of times. A lot of elevation changes as well, not as much as Spa, but still it's so on that.
As
Yeah,
Boto was saying that, I think, yeah, Boto, I think you need to sort your internet out. It's cutting out a little bit, but okay, I'll carry on from what you were saying. So I believe you guys have heard that Boto said something about elevation changes. Completely true. There is quite a bit of elevation change. I mean, the straight does go downhill a slight bit. It's not too obvious unless you are looking at it. So yeah, you kind of have to look at the straight, pay attention, and you can see that it goes downhill a little bit, and then you brake in that sort of a downhill slope for turn 1. And as you're going up turn 1, of course, you can immediately see the elevation change. It starts going higher and higher and higher, and even now, where Madhav Sajid is going right now in his Mercedes, he was in a downhill bit, and now going through this infamous section of corners here. These go uphill quite a bit as well, so it's quite a bit of a roller coaster that you can't really see from the track map alone. Yeah, you just kind of have to be ready for those moments, because there is one thing in braking in a straight and making sure that your car stays stable. But if you take an example, tracks like Kota, you can brake later than you'd anticipate, than you'd expect, and your car will stick because it goes very, very uphill. Like that's a proper incline that goes uphill. So your car will stick because gravity pulls you down. Whereas over here, I mean, you can see right now from Madhav's onboard, just below, you can just see how the horizon starts going lower and it suddenly dips. So it goes low, you pick up speed. That means you have to brake earlier. While it's still going lower, you start braking immediately as you're on power, the track starts picking up and starts going up in elevation. Long right-hander here that's also going up while you're at it. So your tires, your car is being completely played at over here as well. Very slight incline, not too much, until you come up to another sort of a long right-hander. That's another big incline. And Sarthak Ray that we watch in his OnlyFans delivery once again. But yeah, Boto, I believe you should be fine. Now, what I'm trying to say is, yes, there's a lot of elevation changes. Of course, nothing like Spa, but Spa does kind of manage it well. You don't really get those sort of steep, sharp, immediate changing inclines. Whereas over here, you can see you're braking on a downhill, and then you're you're going through the mid corner, and you're putting the throttle down while you're going uphill, and then as you can see, turn 4 over here, just completely inverse of that. So a lot of elevation changes with a lot of off-camber corners that really does put your car and your tires up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point actually. Spa is a bit more gradual with the elevation, what it throws at you. Over here, the track is short in itself as well. Almost a minute faster. Not quite a minute, but yeah, nearly a minute faster than Spa. So it really does hit you very suddenly with what corner is offering, because you have that turn 4 which is downhill, and then it's a left hand, and it's a very late apex as well. You can't see the apex just half a second or even less than before you start braking. So it's really hard to tackle this track in a GT3 car. At least in an open cockpit, you have the advantage of visibility. In a GT3 car, you have the A pillar on the sides, which is sort of hampering your view. As Sarthak goes with a 44.7, a very quick lap time in Barcelona. He did set a really blistering lap time in Spa with a 2:17.5, and he's again cementing his position in qualifiers by setting that lap time. So yeah, definitely one of the drivers who's really in top contention so far, winning the top place in qualifiers too. But great lap time early on. Baldy is second off, only one within the second who's in the muck, and yeah, I think by the time the session's over, probably a 44.0 or near like a 44 low is what my prediction is for the pole time. But yeah, you never know. There's a car off on the side there. Hopefully he gets to RTG quick enough, as Samal Habib very close to blocking Shubham Das right there. It's a late apex as well, so you'd think he's off the racing line, but because he goes so deep into that corner, it's actually quite impactful because he was quite deep into the corner, his car was. So SD's lap will be a bit hampered by that, but he's still pushing on. So far so good. The gaps are a bit quite spaced out, but I think they will close up by the end of it. Madhav goes in very close with Baldy's lap time, and then Axel pips both of them to a 45.2, I think, or 45.3 nearabouts, and puts himself 6 tenths off P1.
Great lap by Sam there, 7.5 tenths away from Sarthak Ray. Quite a bit of a distance, but not close enough. Shubham Das next across the line, closes that distance. 3.5 tenths to Sarthak Ray there then. Wow, I guess what we saw on day 1 will continue. Axel Sam putting in quite a valiant effort nonetheless to stay in P3. That's still 3 tenths away from Baldy and Jay Pratap. A new face once again. He's showed up for day 2. Couldn't show up for day 1. Not sure why, but at least he's here now for day 2. And yeah, currently we don't have Couple in the lobby, but it shouldn't matter anyways because he has a qualifying ban, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, we'll have to see where Jay Pratap puts himself, because yesterday we saw new faces like Niman Shakya, who put an amazing lap time. Despite being a new face, and of course, Couple and I were quite shocked looking at that. Not because of we were doubting his skill in any way. We don't doubt anyone's skill in any way. Anyone can improve and get to the likes of Tavli Singh. He just takes the effort and the time to do so. We were shocked because personally, Couple and I have never ever seen a new face come in and instantly be this quick. He wasn't too quick in the sense that he wasn't able to challenge you, Moto, or even Deepak for the top 2 spots, but he was a solid podium contender. And drivers like that is kind of what makes racing alive, because over here right now, of course, Madhav Sajid, who's once again, for whatever reason, he's behind Samad Habib. It didn't work out well in Spa. I don't know why he thinks it's going to work out well in Barcelona. But it's good to see, because Madhav Sajid knows how Samad Habib drives. Samad Habib knows how Madhav Sajid drives. These guys have been driving with each other for many, many years at this point. And you have people like Nivan Shakya coming in, even Jay Pratap. Now, it does roll a very uncommon dice in there, because they don't know where it's going to land upon. They don't know how he's going to react to situations. You might see them, try a few risky moves here and there, and for all we know, it could work out well, or maybe it wouldn't. But it will definitely put up a nice little spectacle for us to see today.
Yeah, as the sessions proceeded on with 9 minutes left on the clock. SG still the nearest to Sarthak, and then followed by Axel. So quite the similar story of day 1. I think the order was exactly the same by the end of it. So let's see. With Barcelona being such a technical track, as Samad's taking a bit of a nostalgic trip, wants to try the old layout, wherein the track would veer to the left and then cut back onto the straight. So I couldn't quite keep his car on track. Well, it was off track either way, but couldn't keep it on that layout either, as he had to RTG back to the pit. Pratap improves to close that gap to 1.3. So massive improvement, actually, more than a second, which is quite a lot, especially at this latter stage of qualifying. So hopefully that's going to give him the much needed confidence to further propel himself up the order right now. So far, it seems only Path is the one who's not set a lap time yet. So I think he might be struggling with the track limits. Let's see, track limits. It's quite easy to invalidate here, but it's not wherein you would invalidate and get an advantage. It's where you just start understeering. Especially turn 3 is one I can think of, where I think we spoke about this on day 1. You need to be so patient, again, with this corner as well. You need to be so patient with the throttle, as he's nearly veering off to the off track, but I think he kept it within the confines of the white lines there. But yeah, again, patience is so integral to the lap time here, because if you wanna you sort of think you can get on power earlier, and you start doing that, and your car just washes out wide, and not only do you lose lap time, you get further away from the ideal line, and you also sort of understeer off the track, and that's a lap gone. So it's so crucial to know the proper lines and to know exactly what the car is capable of, and not to overdrive it or underdrive it, because both can just lead to off tracks and unnecessary off tracks which don't even give you any advantage in your lap time. So it's just a matter of getting in that flow state and stringing in those laps together consecutively.
Absolutely. I mean, that is what differentiates a good driver and a great driver, because a great driver would know that that those corners on the entry they'll look like, oh yeah, I can absolutely take this corner flat from here on out. And then the second they'll know that yes, you can't really take that corner flat out from there. So you add in just the right amount of throttle, that that perfect balance between the car turning around the corner while you also carry a lot of minimum apex speed through the corner as well. That is what the difference is between a great driver and a good driver. Because a good driver, on the other hand, would simply just overdo on either end. They would add too much throttle or understeer, or they would just not add enough throttle and end up losing time because of that. So that is what is crucial between these guys, and that is what people like Sarthak Ray, Shivam Das, that is what kind of separates them. Because you can see even the axle time is quite close, 4/10 between Shivam Das. It does make a big difference when you go through corners like turn 3 and then the Rosberg corner. I guess you can talk about it, because he currently has, I think, the fastest minimum apex speed through that corner, I believe, or might be the lowest apex speed through there in 2016 or something. In F1 cars when they had, I don't want to say what I want to say, but they had very little downforce S compared to what they have today. And that's Shubham Das coming across the line, 44.597, almost 200ths away from Sarthak. But yeah, I mean, all it takes is one good lap for Sarthak to beat that by a couple of tenths. So that is something Shubham Das will have to work on here and improve by a lot more than just a few hundredths.
Yeah, absolutely. Great lap time by Shivam Das there. Getting provisional pole for now, but 4 and a bit minutes left in the session. It seems quite late to get that lap time up. Sarthak's last lap was a bit of a write-off, nearly a second off of his actual pace. So hopefully he's going to be gearing up for a proper hot lap. So let's see how he's going to tackle the circuit de Catalonia. Into turn 3, turns 1 and 2 was quite nice. Turn 3, you want to lift off right after Pirelli board on the right, and then get back on throttle slowly and not make sure your car doesn't slide out. The rears don't get overheated. This corner misses his apex by quite a bit, goes out really wide where the track isn't grippy, and it took him a lot of time to get back on par and get his car back on the ideal line for turn 5, which he does navigate quite well. Into the chicane of turn 6 and 7, uphill, off camber, really hard. You don't want to touch that first curve and completely eat up this one. Does that pretty well, though. I think he was a bit far from the apex, and he was a bit too close to that one, considering he mounted that curve and probably scrubbed off a bit too much speed for his own liking. Braking just before the 100 here, brakes a bit early. I think he had to modulate and demodulate his brakes there to get that minimum speed back up. And yeah, you can see he's not happy with this lap at all. And folks, there it is, the patience that you need, when you need to go on the brakes and how much you need to brake to get the lap time. It's just so hard. This track demands so much, and demanding a bit too much from his rear tires. Right there is Axel Sam, who gets caught off guard in turn 3, and RTGs to prepare himself for probably one more flying lap, or 2 more if he's quick enough. But as Ahmad Habib crosses the line, does a 46.2, so still a ways off of Superpole, but yeah, hopefully he can make up that 5/10 and get the Superpole. But yeah.
Absolutely. Samad Habib, we saw in Spa, he did kind of the same thing, screwed up his last run that he did and decided not to go out despite having the time to do so. He's still out on track now. If he has the enough fuel to go ahead and do another lap, then he can go ahead and do so. As we watch Shubham Das right now, and I've just seen Couple launching ACC, so he will also be joining this session in just a moment here. Of course, he won't be in the Superpole, so it doesn't matter. I guess he can do a few laps of practice offline. But yeah, we'll keep watching this lap of Shubham Das in the Audi as he's coming through one of yet another one of those tricky corners that we have talked about. And now going into the sweeping right-hander. That's I say sweeping. It is a slow speed one, but yeah, it's still greater speed than you'd usually expect for a corner to be. Taking the sausage curb on the exit there, has not flung his car around. Great final corner, comes across the line and doesn't improve by 3 seconds. Wonder what
So I
went
think that was
wrong
a
on his
write-off
lap.
lap. Yeah,
Yeah,
must
it
have been a
has to
write-off
be.
lap because I think he's gearing up for a proper lap now, and you can see him attack those curves really aggressively. So let's just ride on board with SG and see how he's going to tackle this technical behemoth of a circuit. Into turn 4, or yeah, 4, braking just before the bridge. Want to apex earlier, and again, like Sarthak drifts out really wide, so braking a bit too late or braking a bit too less for the car to just understeer off the track, and then apexing a bit early over there, but gets a good slingshot exit out of turn 5. So good stuff over there into the chicane. Avoids the first curb and then gets a bit of a snap of oversteer, but controls that very well. Into turn 8 or turn 9, actually, you want to fling the car in, kisses the curb a bit, which I think did help rotate the car a bit. So it's still looking like a decent lap, using all the curb on the right there to pick the car in. Apex is quite early for this one, which you can do because it's such a short run up to the next corner. The clock has ticked to 0, so this is his final lap right now. We're on board into this corner again, which requires so much patience, and want to coast the car gently up the hill and then bang on the power into this whiff-faff chicane. You want to early apex of you and cut back on the outside, take all the curb you can, run the sausage curb, and the car doesn't bottom out on that at all. And across the line, well, we cut off to Sarthak there, and
No
across the
improve.
line for his lap. SG does not improve. Across the line for Sarthak does not improve, but matches his best time. Nearly matches it.
That is quite interesting as we watch Baldy. Why I said it that way, but we're watching Baldy in the McLaren. Mercedes. I just have a habit of looking at orange cars that start with them and calling them a McLaren. It's a Mercedes. It's not a McLaren. But yeah, not the usual livery for Baldy. I'm quite surprised by that, but still a great looking livery. Question is, will his lap be as great as his livery? Because he has done a few mistakes while we have been watching him. He's in the final sector right now, and coming into the last little bit, it's not going to be. Hopefully, it'll be an improvement for him. I don't think it'll be an improvement by much. I don't think he can take Axel away from that P3. And yeah, he's gone off wide there. It might be an invalidation for him, perhaps. He's the only one who remains on track. Does he improve on his lap? And no, he does not. He is in P4 and he will remain in P4. Axel Sam in P3. So that was a good qualifying, I would say. And yeah, Shubham taking away that pole by all nearly 200ths of a second. And Sarthak Ray, those mistakes by Shubham Das as well as Sarthak, to be fair, they just kept on happening. They set those 2 laps that they set initially, and that is what they got their positions by, and they just couldn't improve after that. So I think it has happened to be that way, that they've just thought about it too much, and yeah, they've just cooked the lap. But hey, at least they're in Superpole, unlike Samad Habib, who has done a spa once again and he is knocked out, even though we keep expecting him to be in the Superpole. But it is what it is, and do not worry, we have the Superpole coming up in just a few short minutes time here.
inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out.
All right, we're back after that very short break. We have Superpole coming up. Sarthak Ray snatching away that pole by... Apologies, Shivam Das snatching away that pole by 200ths of a second. Sarthak not too close. We just had a little bit of a chat with him. Apparently a 44.4 is his best. Let's see if he can get that in the Superpole. It will be harder. I mean, I don't even think he's going to get close to his... best that he did in this 20-minute Q1. So I think it's a little bit of a long shot, but considering it is Sarthak Ray, I think he can possibly do it.
Yeah, you never know. Super Bowl is a moment where you do struggle to match your personal best, let alone your session best, which was in qualifying. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty challenging. We have the curves as well. And in that chat, I think he was just telling us how the tires just start dying after 3 consecutive laps in Barcelona, which is something we completely glossed over. And it's so evident because of the track nature as well. However, they don't have to deal with that in the Superpole. So the tires are actually going to be pretty easy to keep in control because you have 1 lap. And on yours as well, you can push quite a bit to get that temperature up. But yeah, essentially don't worry about the tires falling apart. But then you do have a chance to do your lap. So it's a bit of a plus minus in that sense, as we have Madhav, who once again finds himself the first car out on track for the Superpole. But yeah, all that talk about personal best and trying to match in the actual session, it really gets me thinking as how you approach the session. You head in with, okay, I think first best which I did was a bit too good for me to replicate in a session, or is it better to approach the session with, okay, I think I have more time in that PB, I'm pretty sure I can manage to beat it, match it, because then you start pushing, you find yourself, making more mistakes, which is something I've struggled with. I've tried to, I've come into a session thinking, okay, my PB was good, but come on, I can easily match that or beat it, and then I just end up overdriving. I mean, and then you do a abysmal lap and really puts you off guard. So that different approach to a qualifying session is so enigmatic, like different as to how you can how it challenges mentally and both, and challenges your skill as well. So come Superpole, I think most of the drivers just pray if happen, because matching your PB pole is unheard of. But let's see how they do.
Yep, as we now look onwards, Madhav Sajid in his Mercedes AMG GT3, maybe not Petronas, regardless, coming through into turn 1, second gear, taking the inside curb, missing a bit of the inside curb on the turn 2 there. Turn 3, long right-hander, you have to be very patient on the throttle. The car will want to wash away, but you have to keep it under control. You can go back and throttle now as the corner widens up. Settle down through turn 4. Uphill right-hander once again, same thing. Be very cautious on the throttle. Your rear can snap very easily. He's managed it quite well. Going downwards for turn 5. Second gear once again. Most people opt for first gear. He's run off wide there, and that is his lap over.
Over indeed, as he just went off wide in turn 5, yeah. So I think he apexed a bit too early there and just had no other option to, in order to salvage that lap time. He just had to get on power as early as possible, and again the car just washed out wide. On board with a body who's still on his outlap, in the same car, in the Merc as well. With that papaya livery, which does look quite pleasant actually. I'm not gonna lie, the white accents are quite pleasing with the black. That front grille looks really good as always, because I mean, come on, it's a Merc AMG, you can't go wrong with that. But the rear really does look inspired or aspiring to be as good looking as a Porsche's rear. Not that I'm biased at all, but just my 2 cents. As he gets ready to gear up for his lap in sector 3, he's getting his tires and brakes in temperature in this really finicky chicane, which God, I hope they remove it for ACC, because it's just so annoying to deal with. But again, that's probably where most of the lap time is in ACC, because slow speed corner, more of your inputs are more important to your lap time, so all that jazz. As he gets ready for turn 1, braking just before 100 actually, not at the 100, that'll be too late. Apexes very nicely, but it slows down the car a bit too much, I think. Lifts off after the first Pirelli board, and then takes 2 years to get on power there, but you have to, otherwise you'll just wash out wide. Watch out for the bridge on top, brake just as you head before that. You want to angle your car towards the apex so you don't have to work more on your wheel and cause the car to understeer an entry. So he's done that pretty well. Into turn 5, goes a bit wide, apex is very late. That's a beautiful line, gets a nice slingshot exit. Doesn't quite use all the estate which is offered to him on the right there, but he won't be too unhappy about that line through there. Into the chicane, clatters this curb on the inside, completely eating it for dinner. And then into turn 9, wants to flick the car in a bit wide at the apex. You can see the wheel still turning when it should have been straightened out by then, but still he pushes on, braking just before the 100 again. 100 being a bit too late for the car's liking. Into this hairpin, gets a decent exit again, and this time he chooses to use quite a bit of the track there. Cuts out wide and then cuts back in for a nice exit in this uphill sector 3 section. Into the right hander of the entry to this tight chicane, misses his apex by a bit, doesn't quite carry the minimum speed, gets the apex beautifully for this one. Takes all the sausage curb on the left hand side and then throttles out in third gear up to 4th, and then let's see, it's a 46 flat. yeah, good lap time by Baldy there, though I'm pretty sure he's gonna be not too happy about that because there was a lot more time in that lap. But yeah, that's your first lap time in the Superpole session.
Decent banker considering Madhav Sajit invalidated his lap. I think Madhav's lap could have been better, but it is what it is. Now we watch onwards with Sam Axel, whatever you want to call him, in the BMW Axel Racing Esports, going down the main straight, braking for turn 1 just at the 100-meter board. Third gear for turn 1, downshifts to second as he goes through the second corner, upshifts back to third. So clearly the car unhappy with Sam's line through the first 3 corners. That is turn 4. He has washed up wide a little bit. Doesn't look like he's too happy with what's happening right now. Neither is the car. He's understeered off wide a little bit. It's looking a little bit shabby. I don't think it's gonna be that great of a lap from Sam. As the inside line goes off wide, not really using up all of the track. I think he's losing up lap time here because I know his driving style. He likes to be really smooth on the wheel, but that smoothness is, in my opinion, overly smooth. That's what Dairy Milk Silk tries to be, overly smooth, and that's clearly not working out in his favor because he's just not using up that track around him. He's losing out on time as he goes through turn 10, and yeah, he's just too cautious on the throttle through these corners as well. Doesn't seem to be fighting the car, looks too calm and controlled. Could be a better lap than Baldy, but I don't believe it might be by much. Comes through the chicane, first gear, then takes the inside apex, outside apex as well. Great line through the final chicane there by Axel Sam. Runs off wide for the final corner, right on the edge of track limits. Comes across the line for a worse lap of 46.2 as expected.
Yeah, wasn't quite dairy silk smooth there from Axel, but 3/10 off of Baldy's lap time, and I don't think he's going to be too pleasant about that. But now on board with Sarthak, finished P2 in the actual qualifying, and yeah, a very, very slow outlap there, as you can see, but gearing up for his actual Superpole hot lap, braking just at the 100. Actually brakes quite late, and then you can see he washes out a bit wide, but the McLaren is really good on the brakes, and again evidently so, as he got the car stopped just in time. For turn 3, washes out a bit wide, but still gets the minimum speed quite high up there. Gets his car all the way on the left, and then well, I thought he was going to go much wider than that, but still misses his apex for turn 4. A lot of drivers have done that actually. It's so easy to do because the corner just washes away from you. Turn 5 though, very nice line through there. Gets a nice slingshot exit, very safe on the exit. Doesn't want to play with the track limits on your one shot at getting your qualifying position set for the top 5. So yeah, very, very safe there. Gets a bit of a snap on the entry into turn 9, which means he was riding the brakes a bit to get the car pointed in, and the rear tires did not like that one bit. Into turn 10, takes a really early apex-ish, sort of middle of the track, and then gets on the power early as well. For turn 12, want to be really, really coasting through this uphill section, and then bang on the power. Watch out for the tire marks in the curb there to get the car turned in. Goes a bit too wide there, and then that's going to ruin his line for this one, but still keeps the minimum speed really high up. That McLaren has bundles of downforce on it to even keep that car pointed even after getting the line wrong there, but comes across the line, does a 45 flat, which is exactly a second clear of Baldy to the 1000. So a good lap time from Sarthak right there.
Great lap time by Sarthak, 45.0, considering that it is one shot, one opportunity, one out lap and one hot lap. That is all they get. All eyes on Shubham Das now, quite literally, because He is the only one capable of beating Sarthak Ray right now. If he messes up this lap, Sarthak Ray gets away the pole. As Shubham Das starts his timed lap then in his Audi GT3 coming through into turn 1. Where will he brake? Will he brake just where Sarthak brakes? Yes, right at 100. Second gear. Has not taken the apex properly of turn 1. Compromises that for a great turn 2 apex. Turn 3 then. His car tries to wash out wide, but he keeps it under control on power. And great minimum apex speed through there. Coming into turn 4 then. Braking while turning his car, and that's a great line, but his car did not like it. A lot of snap of oversteer, and that's easily half a second gone on his lap time. Not an ideal situation for Shubham Das. Coming through into turn 5 on power, that rear still struggling for any amounts of grip. Clearly, I think he's overworked his tires already, and it's only been half of the lap. Going through the uphill section, that rear does not want to stay stable. This is not looking like a pole lap to me, unless he can pull something grand off in the last sector, which may not be the case considering he is struggling in the medium to low speed corners. Coming into turn 10, first gear, missing the apex by a margin, still on the brakes, extremely wide through there. Turn 11 and then turn 12. Downshift to second, wide once again. This is a very shabby lap so far from Shubham Das. Turn 13 then. Bases the apex once again. He does not want to use any curbs at all. That is where the grip is, my friend. You can see all the dark bits there. That is where the tire's been the most. Anyways, final corner. Not shabby through the final corner, but all the way wide. Where will this put Shubham Das? A tenth and a half behind Sarthak Ray. Despite that kind of a lap, I think if he hadn't made that mistake earlier on in Sector 1, I think that could have easily, surprisingly been a pole position for him, because the rest of his lap was just fine. I think the bit, was it turn 3 or turn 4, where he just continuously corrected his car? I think that was turn 4. If he hadn't done that, I think he could have easily gotten pole despite that shabby lap. But if he can keep that momentum going into race 1, I think we could be seeing maybe a good battle or complete dominance from SD here.
Yeah, I mean, to only be a tenth and a half off of Sarthak with that shabby of a lap, it's really puzzling to me, because it seemed like that was at least going to be like half or 7/10 off of Sarthak's lap, because he was all over the place, understeering, oversteering everywhere, bit like the 2014 Ferrari, which was understeering on entry and then oversteering on the exit. It would do the same, and it had a mind of its own. But yeah, not very happy with the car, but the lap time is there for him, and I'm pretty sure those two are going to offer us a really, really fine battle in the forthcoming race. But that's your Super Bowl done for tonight, folks, and we're going to be joined by a 30-minute shootout race session in Barcelona after just a short break. So see you there after 5 or so minutes, folks. We'll be right back with the action.
Be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the 4-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
And we're back after a very short break then. A very nice Superpole session there. Had a word with Sarthak Ray. Apparently, he took the lap quite easy as well. And maybe a 44 was on the line. I'm kidding. But yeah, a great lap by Sarthak. SD unfortunately could not beat it despite a very good attempt and despite those numerous amount of mistakes. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what these guys can pull off, as we have 30 minutes of Barcelona coming up ahead of us. Kapil also joins this race after serving his qualifying ban. The infamous Kapil from Spartan 1. If you have watched the first race, or rather the first day, if you haven't, go and watch it after this is done, not in the middle of it. Yeah, Boto, what do you think? What can we expect from this race? Because, of course, as you mentioned, the tires just die after 3 laps. So, what is this race really going to be about? Is it going to be about tire conservation? What should be the strategy for these guys going into this race?
Oh, very much so, about tire conservation, because this track eats rear tires for breakfast or dinner now, considering it's 9:30. So yeah, really track tire heavy, tire demanding circuit, very rear limited, quite front limited as well. I mean, let's just say it's front and rear limited on both accounts. Why not? Really does shred the tires, but I think that's just going to spice up the action even more, because you'll have people who are not quite up to the pace in terms of like pure raw performance, but who can really manage their tires really well. So if you're one of those, then yeah, dude, I would really have a good shot of, getting that P1 by the end of it, because well, it depends on the car as well. The McLaren is quite easy on its tires. Cars like the Porsche, the Ferrari as well, I think, is quite well. The Porsche, most notably, eats rear tires for breakfast because it's a rear engine car, and the rear is more weighted than the front. So yeah, that's where all the load is. And yeah, it's really going to be dependent on who can last out the most with their consistent lap times, and make sure their tires do not go off by the end of lap 3. We did hear Ninja, or was it Sarsakre? My apologies. Sarsakre in the VC, I think we had a chat with him. He was saying that qualifying, the tires were dying after 3 laps or so. And in the race, when you're on heavy fuel, the tire wear is even going to be more accentuated. So you really need to, drive in such a manner where you're not pushing flat out, but you're not, driving as slow as the grandma, let's say. And your lines are going to be quite different as well. You're going to probably not take the same lines you would take in qualifying. You would not drive with the same mindset as you would in qualifying. So a lot of different its and bits, and to keep in mind of when you're driving in race trim, especially around Barcelona. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents in terms of tire wear, and in terms of the predictions. Let's just throw those out of the way as we're getting ready for the grid. 20 odd seconds left in that. Yeah, I think SD's been struggling with tire wear quite a lot.
10 seconds.
He's very quick in qualifying, but when it comes to race trim, he's got the tires which they start dying out a bit too soon for his own liking. So I think Sarsak might take the victory here, but again, you never know till it's over, and you really don't. You can't really guesstimate like that. But that's just my 2 cents of it, simply.
I completely agree with you there, Boto. There has to be a bit of tire conservation. Apologies, there that has to be involved, and yeah, they can't really go full push, as he said, all the way until the end. So even the Audi, to be fair, we have seen, at least in endurance type races, it just eats through its tires, and considering we do have a track like Barcelona in our hands, maybe SD might also struggle with that. Green light, away we go then. Madhav Sajid getting quite a good start. Shivam Das pulling up all the way next to Sarthak Ray. Quite a bit of a gap between them. Maybe another car can fit through there. Will Sarthak Ray closing on the braking? Maybe not. SD leading, going into turn 1. Sarthak brakes much later, and they're both side by side. Madhav Sajid up into P3. A very good start from Sarthak Ray, still leading. Both of them side by side. Sarthak head going through turn 3 then. and that is Samad Habib overtaking Axel Sam with couple ace on the inside of Axel Sam right there. Shiv thus falling very, very closely as Baldy gets very close to Madhav Sajid's car right there. Couple ace making a very good overtake on some Axel Sam right through turn 4, I believe that was. Baldy moving off wide with Samad Habib moving up into P4. A great move by these guys. Very, very good start from them. Seem to be in the flow right now. Couple is following quite closely in that Mercedes behind Baldy. I guess Baldy is just not having the greatest of lap ones in his life right now. And yeah, you can see all sort of a train forming already between these guys, these 6 cars, with Axelson looking down the inside of Kapil and not making that move. And yeah, this other sort of a back between these 3 cars, more like 3 different, because Madhav seems to be kind of in a no man's land because he's too far from SD and Sarthak, and he's too far from the guys behind as well. So more like 3 packs, Kapil and that is Baldy, both going side by side in the background. Can't tell who is out ahead thanks to the tree cover in the parking lot covering up that area. Oh, they're still side by side through the final corner. I think Baldy was pushed off wide slightly there and has had to back off. Kapil is ahead then. Now Baldy going side by side with Axel Sam. I'm not sure why we're still on Madhav Sajid right now. Axel Sam making a move on Kapil. That's a great overtake, but he cooks it wide and he has to concede both of those positions that he made up in just a few corners. So he's undone whatever he has done on lap 1, and we are looking to sort of settle already.
A great start by SD and Sarthak right there. They were going neck and neck into turn 1. And I think it was crucial that SD should have gotten by there, because again, the tire conservation thing is just so important right now, and it's just go up with 2 laps in. But SD was really running for it, but Sarthak did ever so well to defend that. And you could see on that first lap as well into the hairpin, Sarthak went very wide and SD was all in the back of him. So it's just a matter of time, I think, when SD is going to get Sarthak, because so far it seems that Sarthak's struggling quite a bit, though I think the gap is sort of opening up now. But a great stuff by Samad Habib and Kapil as well, capitalizing on the mistakes out front to get their positions up. Samad up P4 and Kapil up to P5 already, so a great start for those 2 as well. And now Kapil all over the rear of Samad, pushing him almost through the sector 3 as they're filtering out. Further ahead, it seems the Sarthak sort of eked out a small gap to SD, and that's quite crucial that he does that, because the tire wear would be kicking in around 3 or 4 laps, and then the drivers will really be struggling for grip. So that's integral that Sarthak gets that gap opened up as soon as possible. But yeah, for the back, you can see that Kapil's being held up by Samad in front, which is Constantina and Baldy into play as well. So he's just hanging right behind, almost touching the rear of Kapil right there through that turn 1 and 2 complex. And yeah, the 3 Mercs, well, 2 Mercs and 1 BMW in this fight, and Kapil washes out mine. Will Baldy go for a nose dive into the inside of turn 4 here? He does. He breaks really late, and then Kapil switches back as expected. Beautifully played out. Baldy's trying to hang it around the outside, but not much grip off track on the dirty part where the marbles are kept. And again, Baldy's so tearing on the brakes, and then yeah, I think it's where he's capitalizing on Kapil. Braking is where he's much faster, but on the accidents, it means that Kapil's got him covered and breaks a bit too late for his liking there, and goes out of camera shot completely as he's disjointed from this battle, which has turned into a 2-way fight now, as he's relegated a few positions on the leaderboard so far. Good stuff in Barcelona right now.
Great stuff, but there's no point being brave on the brakes if you can't be smart on the brakes. If he just keeps going later and later on the brakes, hoping that the car will stop, the brakes will overheat and they will just become more and more inefficient, and they will just not work. He's overworked the brakes, and it's clear right there as he loses out in a position to Jay Pratap in the background as well. SD has closed in 3 tenths to Sarthak Ray, has the slipstream going down the main straight, but I think he'll be too far to make a move. Straight just not long enough. Kapil Ace and Samad Habib going side by side, then Samad in the Beamer and Kapil in the Mercedes. Kapil breaks later, Samad breaks even later, and both of them make it stick. And they have gone through turn 2 quite perfectly here. Turn 3, Kapil is still following Samad on sort of an unoptimal line there, but Kapil, I think he has made a minor correction at some point because he's lost out around half a second to Samad just through there. So clearly a lot of pressure building up on Kapil on the other hand to attack over here. I think Kapil's under pressure to not hit the car in front and get a 30-second penalty once again. So that is where he's kind of panicking, and that is kind of where he is just taking a bit of a chill pill because it's only been 6.5 minutes in this race. There's still 23.5 more minutes to go. So there's no point panicking and rushing into things. Just take a bit of a chill pill and slowly build up that pressure and make Samad use up his tires.
Yeah, pretty sure he was getting Vietnam flashbacks as that rear of the Beamer just moved closer and closer under braking, but yeah, he manages to avoid hitting him. But yeah, good stuff from these two, and then up front again, the gap is just increasing and decreasing. It's just it's like a wave. It's gently coasting up and down. But so far it seems it's spaced out a bit more than what it was in the last lap. But I think in the third sector is where Assetto's really got that McLaren under him. Whereas as he's got that advantage in sector 1 and 2, the fast and sweeping corners, but in the slow mechanical sections of the track is where that McLaren is really, really shining. Again, you can see through turns 1, 2 and 3 as he's just closing in that much more. But again, when you're following a car for this long, your tires are also getting heated up because of the dirty air, not getting a chance to cool down in the fresh open air. But and that's also compounded by the track nature as well, where the tires are just being hammered in every corner, every lap. So it's just beginning to hurt, I think, for SD, and hopefully the tire wear doesn't get too bad for him, where he just starts dropping back and back, unable to get that back closed back in. But further on behind, it seems that Paulie is just all over the back of Vijay Pratap in the Ferrari there, right? He's hounding his rear through these corners right now. At chicane, you can see his line is so much better, and he's trying to go for an switchback in that corner, but unable to do so. I think the momentum was not quite high enough for that to happen. As Pratap closes that avenue of pleasure for the Beamer behind, for the Merc behind, as they're heading into sector 3. He's being held up massively here, at least a second or more of an offset between these two drivers right now. As you can just see the lines are so much more crisper from that Merc, and he's just trying to get that exit. And hopefully he can get a good one out of this last final corner. Does seem to get one to the final section. Also, he's I think carrying most speed, and I think that's going to enable him to get a move done. That Ferrari is quite slippery on the straights. Actually, I think the body might be a bit too far back, though we have seen him really play with the brakes, and turn 1 still being held up by that Ferrari.
He is trying. He's all over the back of him. He's looking on the outside. He's looking on the inside. He's looking wherever he can to try and find a gap. And clearly, right now, he's just unable to find one right now. And really just go for it, ideally. I mean, it's better to just sit here and sort of anticipate a move, like, wait for Jay to make a mistake rather than do what he's done earlier and go extremely late on the brakes and only have to suffer because of that. I mean, he was mixed with this Samad Habib, Axel Sam, Kapil Ace battle, and now he's far behind these guys. So the last thing he wants to do is repeat his mistake. He's looking around the outside, does a dummy, goes down the inside, brakes much later. He's not making that corner. He's absolutely not making that corner. Maybe if it was an F1 car, but a GT car can never stick that out. That ABS will just kick in, and despite the ABS, I think your tires will just lock up instantly, and that's what happened. And he has constraints. So these are the kind of mistakes Baldy has to avoid. Rather, he should focus on putting pressure on Jay to just kind of mess up, because Jay doesn't know how Baldy drives. If anything, right now it's turning out in the favor of Jay, because despite not knowing how Baldy drives, he still is getting a solid sort of idea, and knows that regardless of how he defends, Baldy has the tendency of going much later on the brakes and just kind of overshooting the corner. So that is something that Jay can really play upon Baldy if Baldy does not be careful about that. So a lot of things in play here. So Baldy has to just shift his focus onto putting pressure on Jen, making him do a mistake rather than trying to full on attack him, because he doesn't have that pace advantage that he would realistically require to get past Jay right now. So see, these kind of things is quite good, but then again, amazing defending by Jay, just going even slower on the apex, and making sure that he just does not give him any room to hit that throttle and try and do a switchback line. So great racing from the both of these guys, and you can also see a nice little cockpit cam on the left hand side from Baldy's car, and a nice little trackside camera on the right hand side. Baldy brakes late once again, going through turn 10, and actually makes the move stick. This is what Baldy has been waiting for, and this is what he's finally pulled off just a lap later from that mistake. Now he has to focus on pulling away from Jay, because he knows he's faster than him. But if he gives the opportunity to Jay of closing in, well, then it's going to be a very long day for Baldy. He just will not be able to catch up to Axel Simon Such, who are already 7.5 seconds, 8 seconds ahead of him down the road. So this is not an ideal situation for him, but still he has to build up a gap to Jay just in case. As we watch on the left hand side of the screen, just down the road, a battle between Samad Habib and Axel Sam, both of them in a Beamer versus Beamer. One's a copper color, one's black in color, and well, we'll have to see who comes out ahead. Both of them are quite equal to each other in terms of pace. Couple has pulled away by around 3 seconds while these two fight it out for position. So I think rather than fighting each other, they should really focus on just catching up to Couple. But hey, well, the decision's down to them. If they want to fight it out to the complete end, as we're almost halfway into the race, well, let them do so. We're having fun while watching them do so.
Yep, as Axel gets a snap of oversteer coming out of that uphill chicane. Very hard to keep the car in control, because it's a really quick direction change, and you're on the gas, and you're turning as well, or the right hand side, and asking a lot from the tires there. So quite understandable to get a snap over there. Quite understandable to get a snap out of any corner on the circuit, actually, given how tricky it is on the tires. And but I think we've said enough about that. On board with Axel, just trying to get past this blockade. That is a copper colored Beamer in front, but Nirma getting a monster exit from the last corner. Axel completely messed up his line into that last chicane, and he's gonna have to wait for a few laps more. But coming back to that battle which we just saw unfold, which is Baldy versus Jay, I think it was quite smart how Baldy learned from his mistakes and sort of fine-tuned his braking into that hairpin without locking up and making the corner. So hopefully Axel can follow suit and just suss out where Jay Pratap is slower, and just get where Samad Habib is slower, and just get that exit required to get the move done. So far, it seems that Nirma's being doubled as a perfect blockade for him, not giving him any opportunities. Goes really wide there, but because of that, gets a good exit because he had the wider line, so he could open up his steering much faster than the car behind. But still, he did lose time, as you can evidently see that Axel is just that much closer to that Beamer's rear. It's a really good line for turn 9. I think he's going to get moved on here on the inside. Nirma's covering the inside completely, very stout with his defense. Axel's going to try and go around the outside, leaves him the space. Nirma's still there side by side. They're going through the section. And yeah, you don't want to make that too wide at all, especially if you're on the inside. So he backs out of it. But yeah, great showcase of wheel-to-wheel action right there. Good and clean, hard yet aggressive, but fair is what is the word I'm looking for right there. Good racing between the two of them. Further up ahead, I think Sarthak Ray and SD are still neck and neck, and this goes to show when two cars are just equal in pace how hard it is to overtake over here. In this sim in general, it's just you just need to get such a good exit to a long straight to get moved on. Otherwise, it's so hard to do it in short sweeping corners, because the brakes are not that good. We can brake much more later than the car in front. Especially when the cars are quite identical in pace as well. So yeah, it's really hard to get a move done here when you're within half a second of the race pace of the car in front and behind you.
Absolutely. I think Sarthak and Shubham were swapping positions earlier on, and that's the DRS board once again. Unfortunately, no DRS for GT3 cars. It kind of doesn't matter to begin with. However, whoever has taken that board away with them, well, that's a little bit of drag that they have brought upon themselves, and obviously hitting it has also caused them to slow down a bit. Watching Axel Sam as well while we're at it in the other Beamer, almost hitting the rear of Samad Habib there. Samad managing to stay ahead, so great stuff by him. And they're just still following quite close to each other. 12 minutes left in the race, and not left in the tires as well. I think they've worn out quite a bit at this point. What is the track temperature? Yeah, track temperature is 33 degrees. So the tires are absolutely boiling at this point. So yeah, it is quite clear that the tires they completely wore out a long time ago, but these guys still have to kind of just stretch on, and not do what these guys are doing, that is continuously fight. Axel round the outside, just once again in favor of having smooth inputs. Axel has once again lost out on another position. So it's helping his tires, yes, for sure. That is helping him lap like 4/10 a lap, 3 to 4/10 a lap faster than Samad, because he has much better tires at this current stage. But if he wants to get an overtake done, he has to do it that way, just a little bit with a better timing. And I think he's barely ahead. He is ahead from Samad Habib. There's Samad down the inside, then trying to make a move on Axel Sam. Great lunge, but Sam stays ahead. So I guess this is what Sam was cooking this whole time. Samad is not too far away. He still has the slipstream, but I think this battle is over, because you don't really see the car that was defending after getting overtaken try and attack once again. This is not F1, doesn't usually work that way, and I think it will be time for Sam to just pull away at this point. Too far and too late to catch up to Couples. So Couples solidified himself in P4, but it is a very good effort. And yeah, I don't think actually I might take back what I say, because Samad looks to be right on the attack right here, side by side through the final corner. Baldy in the background in his Beamer, in his Mercedes, sorry, and oh my god, he's also getting a very good slipstream and a great view from the cockpit as well, as we watch this battle happen from Baldy's cockpit. Samad Habib overtakes Axel Sam going into turn 1. Can Baldy do a similar move on Axel, or will Axel be able to get past Samad as quickly as possible? That is a question that does remain. Samad around 6 tenths ahead of Axel Sam as we speak. Baldy only 3 tenths behind Axel Sam, so he's being put in a great sandwich right now, and yeah, I am not sure how this is going to turn out realistically. So we have to just keep on watching this battle with a very very close eye, as they are doing whatever they can to keep their position and overtake the car ahead. Some are doing whatever he can to defend. Great run by Axel Sam once again through turn 9, but he's just not close enough unless he can send a dive. He has a look, does not go for the dive. Great decision by him. Samad Habib does go off wide though on the exit of turn 10. Now they're both forced to go side by side through turn 11. Samad almost hitting the rear of Axel, almost sending him spinning through there. And Baldy getting involved in this battle immediately. He is following him, or rather following these cars very very closely, and one late break from any of these guys could send them right into a bowling ball pin. And we can see even the leaders are battling it out. So battles all over the track right now, with Samad Habib, Baldy and Axel Sam on the right hand of your screen, and on the left hand side we can have our leaders Shubham Das and Sarthak Ray fighting it out. Surprising to see that SG's Audi has managed to keep its tires so far into the race. Usually they'd be pretty much dead by now, but he is running them quite well, and he is launching an attack on Sarthak. The question is, for how long can Sarthak defend, because SG is looking much faster at this point of time.
Yeah, that was a lot to unfold right now. I was just, about to say, as Baldy goes for a move down side, Nirma gets a bit dissuaded, and I think I thought he thought that Baldy was really close to him, and he had to move away, but there was quite a bit of a gap. So yeah, Baldy gets the move done. But I was just saying that all this infighting between Samad and Axel is just drawing Baldy that much closer. And what do you know now? He's gained a position as well. So yeah, there's all this infighting is just causing the cars behind to catch up. Even the Ferrari with Jay Pradhan, you can see is not too far away in the distance. So if these will continue to fight as hard as they are, and I hope they do, because this is really entertaining to watch. This might be one of the best races we've had till now, with action. Even the most technical circuits on the same is offering us, as he's trying to go around the outside of turn 1, gets to move turn on the outside. Sarthak closes the door really aggressively, and through this corner he has a better line. And again, great defense from the McLaren of Sarthak right there. SD, it seems that his guys are well and truly alive. Not a speck of sign of of them being overheated or worn out at all, because the charge he's putting on right now with 6 minutes to go is really impressive. So he's all over the back Sarthak right now, and yeah, it's just 6 minutes more that Sarthak has to deal with. There's a yellow flag. There was a yellow flag. I think that's Parts in the pit. He's gone to the pits, but he's probably called it as well. But yeah, there was a yellow flag in sector 3 there, and I think that's it for the McLaren driver for tonight. But back to the battle at hand between the top two. SD goes for a really late dive bomb. Sarthak gets a beautiful switchback, but SD is still trying to hang it around the outside. We'll have the inside line for this corner, but it seems the McLaren can just keep that apex speed that much higher because he had the outside line and gets the move done around the outside of the hill. This battle is not yet over, folks, as he's still hounding the rear of the McLaren right there. You can see in the rear cam, almost bumper to bumper. It's like, late night Bangalore traffic. That's how close they are together to each other. And it seems on the straight, as he's got a great exit, is he going to use that screaming Audi engine to get past him on the outside, which is again Sarthak's main preference of defense on the inside. So he has the outside line for the next corner, but this time as he gets to move down later on the brakes, and it seems that Sarthak is not able to answer. So he has a really good run in on this nearly flat as I run out of breath there. Nearly flat, right-hander, and almost gets the move done, but I think that he just ran out of straight there to get a move into the corner of turn 4. But now he's a following car for the first time in this race, and his approach is just going to be that much more aggressive, where he's going to suss out all the moves that SD's doing and try to point out and see where he's losing time and where he's gaining time on the car in front. So hopefully he can stay within that second margin and keep SG occupied till the end of the race. But what a battle that was for the lead right there.
Yeah, great racing action from these guys. We are seeing, Sarthak Ray almost hitting the rear of SD there quite late on the brakes, but that is well and good now. He has missed it, and yeah, Parth just calling it quits, which is fair. And yeah, another battle. Okay, Kapil has caught up to Madhav Sajid in the dying ends of this race. Neither of them were, I think, be able to give it up. So, yeah, both the Mercedes guys, will the white one come on top or the pink one? We'll have to see as we shift our focuses back onto the lead battle. SD's gotten a great exit. So, yeah, Sarthak, despite the slipstream, is not catching up. Let's go back to the battle on the right-hand side of the screen there. Kapil right on the bumper of Madhav Sajid and pulls off to the inside of the corner that will be coming up. Turn 1. Who will be the later on the brakes? Madhav goes on the complete outside and even brakes later. Makes the move stick there, and he is ahead still, defending from Kapil. Madhav does not want to give that P3 away to Kapil in the dying moments after keeping it for literally the whole race. So I think, a lot of moves and a lot of unexpected, unorthodox lines will be coming out in full display in this battle for P3 between Madhav Sajid and Kapil Ace. This is just cooking up to be a very, very good race. I mean, it is a very, very good race already. But in the final 2.5 minutes, I think, will there be one more lap? Yeah, so one more lap of racing. I think next lap will be the last lap. So, yeah, a very, very good final lap could be incoming with both the leaders fighting it out for P1 and P2. And we have this amazing battle for P3 and P4 going on as well. I think whoever makes the move first will get to keep it. I think if Kapil makes the move on Madhav as quickly as possible, and whenever he does make the move, I don't think Madhav will be able to get that position back from Kapil, and that might be the end of it. And I'm pretty sure Madhav does know that, so he will be having to defend with whatever he has. I think SD's gotten a bad exit. No, SD's overtaken Sarthak earlier on, and that is why so I am correct, he has gotten a very good exit. Sarthak is quite far behind, but we will keep watching. We'll watch both the battles right now in a nice split screen that we have going on here. A decent gap between the two of them, and Sarthak doesn't seem to have anything left with him. SD is really on it this final lap. He's pulling away almost a second to Sarthak right now, and he is still looking to improve on that gap, whereas Kapil is now pushing to close in onto Madhav Sajid. The question is, who will actually make the move done first between these four drivers, or rather these two if you're comparing Sarthak and Kapil. Kapil right on the rear once again, was a bit loose on the braking zone, but he has managed to stay well within that battle and not hit Madhav off the track or get any damage. These guys following very close. I think the lead battle might go over here unless SD makes a very, very big mistake coming into the final sector, which might be extremely unlikely of SD. And as we watch once again the battle between Madhav Sajid and Kapil Ace, Kapil is not close enough, so I think despite the efforts, this might be it, unless Kapil has something to do about it in the final few corners. I know what SD has to do in the final few corners. Wave to the fans and wave to the viewers as he is coming across the final corner to cross the line and win the Barcelona Grand Prix. Sarthak Rain P2. Kapil has sent it on Madhav Sajid in the final few corners. A little bit of barging there, but a very, very good move by Kapil in the final sector, in the final chicane there. And Kapil takes away that P3 from Madhav Sajid, and Madhav will be banging his wheel right now in complete frustration. He's even flashing his lights right there, because he knows, oh, it's not over. Side by side between Axel Samsamatabib. Axel gets that position. Apologies, Baldy and Axel right there. And Baldy is just missing out on a nice P5 there. Jay Pratap in P8. Samad just had to watch that line. 700s separating Baldy and Axel Sam. So there was battles throughout the whole race. And I'm sorry, but if you have just missed out on that race, you have missed out on one of the best races we have had in the first 2 weeks. Forget just this week. In the first 2 weeks, battle for the lead, constant battles in the midfield regardless of the position. And with this pack going into Monza next, hopefully less of chaos and more of this racing will be coming up ahead of us, Moto, don't you think?
Yeah, that was a fantastic race, actually. I mean, forget about Barcelona being a technical track. It's a racer's track. That was just non-stop racing throughout the course of 30 minutes there. A battle for the lead, a battle for P3, a battle for P4, a three-way battle, nearly a four-way battle at the start as well. Yeah, that was just that race. Promised and over delivered, really, in all honesty. And that was a great fight for the lead, and I think SG just is going to be really proud of himself to keep his tires in check and come out with the checkered flag on top there. But yeah, great race, and great things to come in Monza as well if these guys can provide the same action for us right now. So
Yep.
yeah, I think, folks, we're gonna be really. I think me and Simply are just exhausted from that continuous onslaught of action right now. But yeah, I think we're all ready for Monza. I think hopefully you guys are too, if you're expecting the same action, and we are certainly. So yeah, we'll be back after a short 10-minute break, and see you guys for Monza.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Yeah, I'm disgusted with myself, and I'm disgusted with the way we're told to have a certain face, a certain weight, because we aren't pixels on a screen. No, we're human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated, it's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
Messing with my head again. You had your heart set on me, but these feels, they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget, but you're breaking down my walls again just to set me free. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Staying up when I go out, you gotta know I'm all yours. But when I say what's that about, you start slurring your words. Tell me why you have to seem so distant when I'm holding you. Your fingertips are drifting away, and I fucking love how it hurts. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I? Why do I, baby, why do I? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling?
Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move to the rhythm. Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour. We still got few more days to slay, It's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move to the rhythm.
And we're back after a very, very short break. Not rather very short break, but a nice little break there. I mean, to be fair, a well deserved break, not only for the drivers, but for pretty much everything, the viewers, us, and everyone that's involved, because that was one hell of a race, to be fair, to digest. And yeah, in my opinion, I think that will go down as one of the best races in this week, unless maybe they have something to do about it in Monza that is coming up. 30 minutes of Monza coming up with the same group of guys. And if the trend follows, then we can see, hopefully, no carnage as it has been so far, and quite a bit of elbows out racing.
Yeah, absolutely right there. Simply, Monza. I mean, I think every driver knows Monza like the back of their hand. It's a very typical layout. An enjoyable Baku, if you may. A lot of 90-degree corners, very hard braking zones, barring I think one which is a Ascari, and then you have the two Lesmos as well, which require quite a lot of finesse braking, where you're not completely battering the brake pedal. You're just pointing the car into the apex and just turning in. But technicalities aside, it's a very good racing track. Lot of wheel to wheel action has been seen in the past in Monza in almost every class, not only GT3. uh so yeah, action is gonna be there, a lot of it, I can assure you that. But yeah, off the back of a very, very good race, we've talked countless times of drivers getting rid of that muscle memory and readapting to the track, which is the next one. But I think for Monza, I don't think any of that is required, because Monza is a very, very common circuit in a lot of open lobbies and whatnot. So I think the drivers are going to be pushing on from the get go. Tires also not really harmed in this circuit. Yeah, it is real limited with all the harsh traction zones and what have you. But yeah, I think the cars are set up in a way where the tires aren't shredded like Barcelona does to them. But yeah, I think we're just gearing up for this lobby. We're in the lobby, just spectating the cars and having a look at that Audi.
That's a
Very nice.
sexy livery.
Yeah, that is. It's a sexy car as well. I love the Audi. Never really liked driving it, but yeah, it's a good looking car. I won't take that away, but a nice shot of the Audi right there. And that was the shot of SD's car, who did win race one. Not a dominant victory, won it by a second and a bit. Got that move done on, I think, the lap before the second to last. So yeah. But in Monza, you never know when a move's done till the last lap, because the toe is so powerful down the long straight. So even if you're at a pace disadvantage, if as long as you get a good exit from Parabolica, which is where the drivers are at right now, you can get within earshot of doing an overtake on the car ahead. But enough waffling about the track and the cars. Simply, I'll let you have the restart, and let's see how the drivers are going to tackle one of the oldest racetracks in the world, actually. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just before I start waffling on about the start, the Davleesh says it's not cold enough to wear a muffler motor. So maybe that. But anyways, as we watch on our drivers, then SD leading with the Esportz in livery, a very, very sexy livery, to be fair, a very, very good color scheme. And we will wait as to when the flag drops. The green flag drops. Green flag, very, very good start by Madhav Sajid once again. Almost, he is defending off from Samad Habib right now. 3 wide. They're making it. Samad Habib has to back out from that. All of them brake clear going into turn 1. Jay Pratap almost hitting the rear of Axel Sam. No collisions. That's great to see. Just as I say that, SD goes off a bit wide and he's lost out on a lot of positions there. This is going to help Sarthak Ray pull away by quite an amount over here right now. Baldy is sitting in P2. Axel Sam in P3. With SD sitting in P4, Madhav Sajid attacking SD right now, that is Jay Pratap breaking very, very late. Madhav Sajid getting hit, and he has been set into the runoff right there, and he will have to take the escape road to join back onto the track. That was a good start for him, that has just turned for the worse. Sarthak Ray pulling away by almost 2 seconds, and only half of the lap is done. That is an amazing start by him, and a horror show for SD, who sits currently in P4 with with Axel Sam and Baldy right ahead of him. Both of them very, very good defenders. So it's going to be a very, very tough job for him to catch back up to Sarthak Ray. He has the time to do it, considering we do have 30 minutes in this race. Question is, how quickly can he do it? And Jay Pratap will definitely have damage after that collision with Madhav Sajid. Couple Ace watches on the rear of Jay as they go into the Parabolica. Couple will be able to get a good exit out of there.
Yeah, a dream start for Sarthak, as he's already 2 and a bit seconds clear of the pack behind him. SG, I think, had a good start. Almost was going to go for a move into turn 1, but I think backed out sensibly. Didn't want to, make any chaos out of that, and as a result of that, had to get dragged out to the curb on the outside, which scrubbed off a lot of speed, and I'm pretty sure the TC and all kicked in, and he couldn't quite get the run on the car in front. But yeah, a dream start for the McLaren in front, which is one of the quickest, if not the quickest car in the sim around Monza. So it's probably the quickest car around a lot of tracks with the new update. But yeah, I think Sarthak's going to be pretty happy about that start. But further back, I think, yeah, you did point out that the Ferrari of Jay did run into the back of Madhav right there and caused him to go off into the runoff, as a couple gets a beautiful exit out of the Telerogia chicane, gets the nice exit, and which results in a good clean overtake on the Ferrari of Jay right there. And Jay's going to have to go from defending to defending from another car right behind him, which is Madhav Sajid. So Madhav might be back with a vengeance. Hopefully he doesn't show it with his driving, and also does a clean move like Kapil did. But Jay is really sticking to the back of Kapil right there. I think Kapil confident going into this one. Whereas Jay might be a bit too comfortable with this track. There's Baldy who's gone off on the exit of the Scotty, which is so easy to do. So those curves which you need to decimate every time, and if your line is wrong by a couple of inches, that's it. Your car's not going to be very stable over that red, yellow and black curve, and it'll spit the car out as it did Baldy's Merc right there, which is very, very stable over the curves, but not so stable where you can completely decimate the curves time and time again. But that's a couple of positions lost in Baldy. What a great race that weekend. Hopefully he can get the comeback drive on as soon as possible. That's Jeb breaking really late in third 1, which opens up the door for Madhav, who gets a very, very easy move down around the outside of the exit of the first chicane. And that bad line through for Jay has caused Samad to get right up his rear. It's almost a neck and neck, bumper to bumper. Is Samad going to send it down the inside? He does. And Jay breaks really early. Trying to get a switchback. Yup, he's going to try it, but can't quite get the bar down very quick enough. And you can see the rear not flying there as he gets his snap over his rear. And that's all she wrote for the Ferrari.
Yeah, well, great move by Samad Habib there, sending it down into the chicane and getting the move done, blocking off the line, and yeah, completely fair and clean racing. That is something that a lot of drivers should watch and learn from. As we can see, Shivam Das on a screen in P3, chasing up Axel Sam in P2, 8 turns separate the two of them. The Beamer leading this battle right now. SD, despite having a bad start, has started making inroads towards these guys, but currently being held up by Axel Sam. That's just helping a couple Ace out in this whole situation, to be honest, because he's only a second and a half away. Either Kapil has opted for an extremely low downforce, has even thrown away his roll cage because additional 150 kilos, for a fact he's not going to throw over. It's Kapil. If anything, the people around him are gonna roll over. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, Kapil is also making inroads because of these guys fighting it out, and SD getting once again quite close to the rear of Axel Sam. Luckily, not hitting it there though. But a great attempt nonetheless. And that is a McLaren all the way in the back of someone. I'm not sure. I think that's Parth Patel that we saw in the shot there. Or I actually can't tell whose livery that is, to be honest. I do apologize for that. But yeah, Baldy is far last. He is currently sat in P9 after that crucial mistake he made. He sat behind Parth Patel as well with definitely loads of damage, and that's not gonna help his rest of the 23 minutes out. And it's, if anything, it's just gonna make his situation worse as the tire wear worsens. Those corners are just gonna get harder, as we can see SD's hand moving there to make an adjustment to maybe the brake bias or maybe the TC or ABS setting, which is something you will quite frequently see if you are on board a car throughout a whole race distance, as the tire wear changes and just the fuel levels go down, and just the general balance of the car shifts as of course the conditions change. You do see the drivers messing around a little bit with the traction control settings, with the ABS settings, and with the brake bias as well. They don't have active diff, with something which is something Samad would have needed there to not lose a lot of time and pretty much drift the whole parabolica around. Unfortunately, that great move which he had done in the chicane, the second chicane in sector 1, he'll have to do all of that again. He's not too far behind Jay Pratap though, but 3 tenths is a very big gap in GT3 cars, so not worth sending a risk. Madhav Sajid getting a 5-second time penalty. Is
That's
it can't be because of the Jay Pratap incident. I wonder why he's gotten those 5 seconds. Maybe it's for something else. I'll keep an eye out on the stewards' verdicts chat for that. I do see a steward typing there right now. But yeah, Boto, I completely agree. That is really odd for him to get a 5 seconds.
Yeah, maybe he broke really early, or maybe he was moving under braking, or the rejoin was not good. I have no clue as to why that penalty's been dished out in his for him. But he's gonna have to deal with it, put his head down, and just get on with his race, because there's nothing you can do to get that moved right now. Maybe post the race you can put in a reappeal, or we do have that for the drivers. That luxury is there. If a team that a penalty is not justified, you can put in your own appeal, and the stewards will have a look at it. But yeah, we got a really sexy shot of Nirma just Tokyo drifting. Sorry, of Samad just Tokyo drifting through Parabolica right there, and hopefully he doesn't do that again, because as spectacular as that looks, it's not very good behavior, guys, is it? But yeah, he seems to have got the run on Jay right now. Again, this time gets a very nice Parabolica, sticks to the inside, which is something you do in qualifying to shorten the distance to the line. But I don't know why he didn't opt to take the slipstream earlier on there. But he's got a great run. That straight is just so long. Jay moves really late.
Oh, come on.
Who gets caught up in that, and yeah, the schools are definitely gonna have a look at that, as Kamil smashes the polystyrene in the chicane. And yeah, I think that was very, very risky for him, from him there, moving very late, a bit like Stroll in Austin, my bad, in last year, where he moved really late to defend from Alonso, and it very nearly, or was it? Yeah, it was Alonso in the end. Yeah, very nearly put him in the wall, where Alonso was flying into the barriers, but somehow, being Alonso, I finished the race ahead of Stroll as well. That was bad, isn't he? But there's definitely going to be a penalty coming his way. Mark gets a drive through. That's very, very strange, because Monza is not a track where you can get a drive through very easily. I mean, yeah, sure, a Ascari exit
Moto.
is really to extend.
But I'm
Yeah.
sorry to cut you off, but the reason Samad's got in a drive-through is because Jay did the moving under braking, and that sent Samad, that forced Samad to cut the whole corner, turn one. Not even the runoff, he just had to completely cut it. He's gotten a drive-through because of that. And funny, we talk about moving under braking because Madhav has been given a 5 seconds for moving under braking on lap 1. So I am a bit confused there. I mean, at least from our POV, it didn't look like he moved under braking in that incident. And Kapil sending it on his old pal Shubham Das. But yeah, right, nobody is your friend on the track. His engine shut off to add the icing on the cake there. So that is great stuff by Kapil once again, just sending an unnecessary dive bomb and making it harder for Shubham to catch up to Axel Sam. And Sam will be like, well, I'll take it. Great banter between these guys, but that may be a penalty coming for Kapil as well. Definitely a penalty coming for Jay Pratap. But I do have a question for you, Moto. How many laps can you go before serving a drive-through? Because in F1, the limit is 3. On the third lap, if you don't serve your drive-through, you get disqualified. So what is the rule in ACC?
I'm pretty sure it's the same for ACC as well. You do get a countdown to 3 laps remaining. So yeah, it's identical in that matter. But yeah, he's going to have to serve his drive-through as soon as possible because, why delay it? Unless there's a weather change incoming, and I highly
Made a
doubt
mistake.
that's going to happen. But yeah, Kapil again was a very audacious move there. I'm pretty sure he's going to get reprimanded for that. But you can see that Merck is so slippery on the straights. He was visibly gaining on that Audi in front. Maybe as he's gone for a bit more rear wing than compared to Kapil. Kapil's just taking advantage of that. Now he's going to get a beautiful run out of Parabolica, where he's going to get the effect of the slipstream all the way down this monumentally long straight. But I think he's going to just run out of track by the end of it, as he still goes defensive, not wanting any more Kapil shenanigans into turn 1. And yeah, evidently you can see Kapil could not dive bomb down the inside because SG was covering it on the inside. But yeah, Samad will have to serve that drive through as soon as possible. Further up ahead, it seems Axel sort of put on a charge, but I don't think it's going to be enough because Barcelona has responded to that said charge. And I think SG's pace is set in stone now. He's just too focused on defending. Maybe he's going to slowly reel in Axel by the end of the race. He is going to get faster by the end of it, as the track does come back into his muscle memory. But so far it seems that Axel does have the pace advantage on these two drivers behind him right now. Kapil though, I think I said this on day 1, and I did take back my statement after he did. Yeah, you know what we saw what he did. So yeah, but again, you can see that Kapil is doing very well at following the car in front. And on a track like Monza, it's when you know the track layout so well, it's sort of easier to do that. And yeah, Kapil's doing really well following SD around the track right now. And again, hopefully, it all comes down to the exit of Parabolica is where it all matters, because you have the longest straight on the circuit. And Kapil, that's exactly not what you want on the exit of Parabolica. And it's going to have to wait for a lap longer to get him moved on.
Yeah, well, a few penalties have started rolling in. We have a 5 seconds time penalty plus a penalty point for Jay Pratap for what we saw earlier, moving under braking, lap 6. Coupled with 10 seconds for that ridiculous dive bomb that he sent on SD. Although I would say 10 seconds is a little bit unfair, but alright. But on the topic of unfair, again, I am not gonna challenge what the stewards say, but from my complete personal opinion, maybe Samad's drive-through should have been cleared alongside the penalty that was given to Jay Pratap there. I think maybe him having to serve that drive-through was not fair on his part, considering he was on the receiving end of the collision. And of course, because of that, he's had to, serve a drive-through and waste a lot of time, and he's now far last.
Yeah, I think that penalty should have been revoked, but yeah, maybe he'll reappeal that post race. But further on behind, it seems Parth has actually got some defending to do soon, because Baldy is really closing up to him slowly and surely after he spun out on the exit of Ascari earlier in the race. But let's see, with the exit that Couple gets now, as he's choosing to stick to the inside, I think that means he's got a bad exit. And Couple's that much closer to him, but that Audi is just screaming away, and the top end from SD is really good, because yeah, even with that bad shoddy exit, it seems Couple has not got enough of a straight line. But again, chooses to go defensive. Couple breaks really late, keeps it stuck around the outside, and now has the inside line for the upcoming corner, as he's giving him the squeeze. All fair done, but so far it seems Couple has got a great run. Heading to Della Roja, he's going to look to the inside, outside, nearly bump drafting him, as you do in oval races. But this is not an oval race unless you're racing in the historic layout of Monza, which we are certainly not. But in Della Roja, it seems that as he's got him covered pretty well. But yeah, this battle is really shaping up to be an interesting one, with these two old pals taking this to the circuits, to the track of Monza here in Italy. And going to have to stick around for a few more laps to get a move done. Though I think Couple is just trying to play around a bit, because I think he just does not have the pace over here in Monza, which is very peculiar, because you would expect him to be really quick around Monza, given that he's such a veteran of the sim. But Couple so far has got a really good pace advantage. But again, completely different ball game to pass. Even in Monza, in ACC, it's still really hard to pass unless you get a monster exit, which puts you well ahead of the braking zone, in the braking zone of turn 1. But so far it seems that Couple has not been able to get such a good exit, as we head again out of Parabolica for this lap. And SD again choosing to stick to the inside, cutting clear of the toe. I think SD is just trying to get rid of the toe behind, which is being the sole factor where Couple is not gaining that much, because he's not getting the advantage of the toe all the way from the exit. He's cutting back later as he completely misses his braking. Hopefully slows down enough. No, he gets a drive through as well. He gets a drive through as well. It seems he did not slow down quite enough, and I'm pretty sure he completely locked up, because the car did not retard at all into turn 1. Gives the place back, rightfully so, and I think that race is his race is pretty much over from now.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be disappointed with that. I mean, he has a drive-through anyways. I think he shouldn't have given the position back, because anyways he's gonna have to serve the drive-through, and he's gonna be far behind. Maybe might come out around between Baldy and Pratap. So yeah, that's his race pretty much over.
I'm pretty sure if Couple was
at
in
this
front, he
point.
would not give that position back whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Stuff happens, mistakes happen. With a very good move that he performed in Barcelona, I guess Monza just does not suit him, or at least the Audi, I don't think so. It is what it is. I mean, it's going to be an extremely dominant run for Sarthak Ray. So yeah, the SD coming into the pits and serving his drive-through right now. Where will he come out? Let's see. He's going through the pits. He's just started at the pit garages, crossing the infamous Monza podium.
He's probably
Right,
going to come out last. by the looks of it. Yeah.
No, Samad's last by a long mile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
just
he's come
realized
out
that. Yeah.
behind even Barth. Forget Baldy. He's come out even behind Barth. I mean, yeah, the drive-through's cleared, but he's around 10 or so seconds, 8 to 9 seconds behind Barth. So that is a race done and dusted for him. And I don't think there's any current on-track battles going on either.
Yeah. Would not expect Monza to not have a battle on the track, but I mean, we've had a fair share of filling from Catalonia, but I mean, this battle was really good between Kapil and Shubham Das, but sadly, that lockup did equate to him getting a drive through, and that has pretty much written off that battle to come. But I think we did miss Baldy getting past Parth because he was behind him till a few laps ago, and he's gotten ahead of the McLaren driver and is going to shift his focus and try and catch Jay Pratap in front of who I'm pretty sure he's got a huge pace advantage on. So that battle could be shaping up in a few laps time. 8 or so minutes, 7 minutes now left in this race. Sarthak Ray having a pretty dominant lead up front, not a single driver near him. Axel Sam, the closest competitor, but then, not quite gaining or losing that much time. That gap is sort of stagnated. Its way along this race. But what else? Things are just turned into procession now, and I think the only battle that we're going to be expecting now is going to be Baldy and Jay Pratap, and maybe even Baldy and Madhav Sajat, as Baldy is going to try and eke out that gap and slowly and surely cut his way through those two positions in front of him.
Yep, it's just a bit of a waiting game, and it makes sense as to why things have settled down. People don't really want to push anymore. I mean, they have been in Barcelona, and also, of course, because, Barcelona was a dominant track. As per what these guys do, they don't really usually practice a lot for the second track. They just get a setup going, do a few adjustments, and then just roll around with it, and that's literally it. I mean, literally around, I think, 2 minutes before we came off the break, I saw SD taking a setup. So that just goes to show you how, last minute these guys practice for Monza. I mean, I don't even think he practiced for Monza at all, considering he literally took a setup 2 minutes before we started racing. So it's completely fine. It's completely justifiable, especially after a very long day. Amazing Q1, an amazing Superpole as well. Very, very interesting. An incredible race one. Yeah, apologies there. An incredible race one to go along with it. So, it makes sense as to why, just after around the halfway mark or a few minutes into the second race, the lack of practice and the little bit of the exhaustion does set in. So it is a well-deserved thing. But yeah, nonetheless, these guys will be pushing all the way until the end to try and make sure that they do make it home. And of course, it's not completely over just yet, because all it takes is, a driver ahead to make a mistake, as we saw yesterday, make a mistake, and then you're immediately right back into that that whole battle. And as we can see, Jay Pratap has once again caught up to Madhav Sajid, to no efforts though, because that position will be of Jay Pratap, as he does not have a penalty on him, although he was penalized. I'm not sure why he doesn't have a penalty on him right now, but he did get a 5 seconds penalty with 1 penalty point. So both of these guys do have a 5 seconds. I'm not sure why it's not displaying here. So this battle is for position. So whoever does end up ahead will keep that position between these two. So it is crucial for them. It is crucial for Jay rather to get the move done as quickly as possible, because Baldy is lurking around that 6.5 second mark. And if these two spend a lot of time battling, then Baldy will come right within that 5 seconds, and not really take that position away from Jay. It will also take that position away from Madhav. So that's the last thing they kind of want. And I think that position is going away to Baldy, considering he's just hit that inside barrier at Parabolica there, and Baldy is right within that 5 seconds time penalty window of Jay. So yeah, that is pretty much all his efforts gone down to vain, unless he pulls out a Michael Schumacher 2004 and just dominates the next 3.5 minutes.
I don't know if it's just me or but it seems that Jay doesn't have a penalty. Simply, it's Madhav who has that.
He doesn't have it in game, but the stewards have given him a penalty.
Okay.
It's there in the
That
verdict.
changed. Normally should apply in the race because we do have live stewarding. But
Visual
yeah, but
bug, maybe. Who knows?
maybe, yeah. Anyway, Baldy's within that 5 seconds, dropping back a tenth there. Hopefully, he can stick within that 5 and get the position post the race. But yeah, I think Jay's car setup is a bit too on the edge, because he's had a couple of moments like that in the race where the rear was just not complying with him. And on the exit of Parabolica, you could see as Madhu goes off track in the exit of Ascari, you could see the car completely swerving to one side, and he had a bit of a clatter with the wall, which would have given him some damage. Baldy's made a big mistake.
Sarthak's in the pits. Sarthak's in
Oh.
the pits.
What?
Why is he in the pits? He's pulling up to the garages. He's pulling up to the mechanics. He's pulled up to the mechanics. Why is he pulled up to the
Yep.
mechanics? What's happening?
Does he have damage? Does he have a drive-through? Does he have a stop-go? I have no clue.
He has none of those. Axel Sam will win this race. The tides have turned in the last 2 minutes. This is what I was talking about just a few minutes earlier. That it's not over until you cross the checkered flag. Sarthak Ray was leading by for what, 10 seconds, and now he's sat where is he sat in P7 with Axel Sam, who is now looking at a contention to win this race as long as he does not make any mistake in this final lap.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking he got the fuel calculation wrong and had to pit for fuel.
Could be, you know.
Yeah, because Monza drinks fuel like anything, with most of it being flat on throttle. So yeah, it's not uncommon, but it is uncommon if you're an established sim racer, because come on, you can't get the fuel calculation wrong. Not at this level where prize money is at stake. But thankfully, it's only the qualifying time which you set is where the money is counted, not in the race. That's just qualifying for the next event, and I'm pretty sure he's already qualified for that. So, but still, yeah, a rookie.
Correction there, Moto.
Yeah.
He's not qualified. This is his first week of racing, so he's not qualified. It's not looking good for him to qualify for the semis.
Well, I mean, he did get a good position in the first and second. Oh no, he got taken out in Spa. Yeah, this is not good for Sarthak at all, is it? As he's going to go around the outside of Parth. Beautiful move, he can stick it. Parth gives him the space and has the advantage of putting down the power below, before him. But still, that wider line does give him the better exit out of that corner. Neck and neck down the straight, who has the better top end speed. Both of them in the same car, so they'll have the same speed. Parth is defending very aggressively. Oh, he's moved up under braking a bit and must have caught out Sarthak a bit, but I don't think it's anything to note about that. Gets a really bad exit and is completely blocking Sarthak's progress up the field, though the clock has ticked to 0, so it's just damage limitation right now. but every position matters, and he's going to have to get this move done on track with only this last lap left to go. And where can he get the move done? He's got a lot of pace advantage, and that pace advantage was a bit too much, wherein he broke much later in the car in front, and that's for sure a 10-second penalty coming his way. So, that's not a good turn of events for Sarthak whatsoever, is it?
It's not a good turn of events for Sarthak. It's gone from great to worse, but it's an amazing turn of events for Axel Sam as he rounds through the parabolic. A couple crosses the line in P1, but Axel Sam will come across the line and win the Monza Grand Prix, taking it away from Kapil Ace. Kapil will have to settle for P2 or P3. We'll see what happens. I think that's a solid P2 for Kapil. Axel Sam finally showing what he is capable of after so many races. And my god, is that deserved. Jay Pratap in P3, Madhav Sajid in P4 might have to lose that position. He will lose that position to Baldy. So Baldy will be in a P4, a very good race for him. Sarthak Ray with 10 seconds for taking Parth Patel out there. Will finish P7 after Shubham Das crosses the line and takes that P6 away from him. Parth Patel, an unfortunate race, finishing it in P8, and an even worse race for Samad Habib there. Despite being a solid midfield contender, has to finish last. And he is going so slowly. He is also low on fuel. Motor, I'm completely honest. I don't know. I can't judge whose race went worse. Was it Samad's? Was it Parth's? Was it SD's? Was it Sarthak's? Because all of them had a pretty bad race. But I'm genuinely unable to tell who's had a better race, and can Samad even cross the line? Does he have enough fuel to do that, or will he stop before?
Come on, you can do
We'll
it.
have to see. Okay,
There
he
we go.
crosses the line and he finishes the race. All right. Well, that was close for Samad. And my God, I mean, that has been an amazing day. It started off well with the Q1, very, very close times. A lot of expectations going into the Super Pole. And Shubham Das taking that pole in the Super Pole by 200s, beating Sarthak Ray, beating the expectations that we had. Race went absolutely. Sarthak Ray and SD dominated that race together. SD making that move on Sarthak on the third to last lap and just taking it away from there. Amazing battles between Baldy, Madhav, Sajid, Sarthak Ray, and pretty much anyone else who was in the midfield. Like the whole pack has been involved in amazing battles throughout the whole day. And I mean, we're just getting started. This is only the third day. We have 4 more days to go after this. And a very, very exciting format coming up on the 7th day as well. So it's definitely not over. How do you want to sum this day up, Mota? I mean, I'm completely out of words right now.
Yeah, as in regards to whose race was worse, it has to be Sarthak's. I mean, come on, you've been leading for like 90% of the race, and then you have to serve a pit stop because, I mean, we're guessing, speculating that you got the fuel calculation wrong. And then you get a 10 seconds handed on top of that, trying to damage limitate, and yeah, it's looking pretty tight for Sarthak to qualify for the next one. And what seemed like a very easy victory, a course to the finish line, turned into an absolute horror show by the end of it, which just goes to show it's not over till it's over. But yeah, Monza did not provide the action we were expecting, but it was still entertaining all the way through, with SD and Couples very tightly fought battle, few penalties being dished out left, right, and center, but all of them justified. And yeah, great race from Axel as well. He finally shows what he's worth and what skill he's got under him in that car, in that Beamer of his, and he's won a race here in Monza, and a great showing. Kept a cool head all the way through. Burst out those consistent lap times, and that's all it took for him to get that P1. By the end of it, just a few mishaps up front, and he capitalized on it very well. And his smooth driving style really did come to his aid there. And he took the checkered flag on top. An unexpected race winner, but a race winner nonetheless. And yeah, what a great day for day 3 of Q2. And yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed by what we've seen tonight.
Absolutely. And man, I really wish we had some sort of a post race show so that we could just go on and on and on about this the whole night. Because I mean, it would take us up until the next morning to just sum up everything that's happened just in Monza. Forget about the whole day, the whole 2.5 or so hours that we have seen amazing racing action on track. But unfortunately, we will have to call it quits this night. But don't worry, Group 2 will be back tomorrow for a lot more action. So we will catch you guys tomorrow at the same time, 8 p.m. IST. And yeah, we hope to catch you guys tomorrow. Moto, you'll be racing. That's the best of luck to you. Have a great rest of your night, and bye bye.
Ciao.